Not Awkward 2019. Maybe I should do more videos in sweatshirts because this is really comfy. Hello and Happy New Year and welcome back to Cuckoo for Books. My name is Salva and today I'm going to be doing my December wrap-up and favorites. I was able to read 3 books this month. Let's dive into that one and then we're gonna go into our favorites. Now, as a policy that I've set upon myself, I'm not gonna include any Christmas gifts for my favorites because I feel like that's a little too like, oh, look how many people love me and gave me wonderful things for Christmas. Like, no. But before we get to the favorites, let's dive into the books I read this month. The first book I read this month is a reread and it is Royal Pains by Leslie Carroll. I had this book a really long time ago and somewhere among the months and the years I've misplaced it and I could not find it anymore. And it was one of my favorite historical nonfiction books that I had. So I said, okay, I'm gonna order one again. When I got it, I was like, what the heck? It's been a while since we read this. Let's go ahead and reread this again. The subtitle of this is A Rogues Gallery of Brats, Brutes, and Bad Seeds. It's a collection of non-fictional accounts about terrible royals in history, and it probably falls into my top 3 favorite non-fictions about royals. I love the way the author writes because it's very entertaining. It's a very modern, current way of writing, but she doesn't try to pander. You know how there are some people who write history and just try to make jokes every other sentence? She's like, I'm gonna keep the humor to a minimum, but it's also not gonna be a boring old book where it's just like, and in 1834 this young man went to so-and-so. I really enjoyed this book. Honestly, if you want to get into history, I would recommend reading this book because it's one of my favorites. The next book I read this month revolves around 2 queens in the YA world and the book world that I absolutely love. First would be thriller YA queen Gretchen McNeil, who is amazing at writing suspense and terror and horror. And the second one is my friend on BookTube, Carrie at Carrie the Book Bell. I'm gonna leave a link down below to her channel. She was the one who recommended this novel in one of her videos and I was like, how did I not know this book existed? I love the author. Why am I only hearing about this now? It is Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil. This takes place in a world where a reality star has just won the presidency of the United States of America. Because they were like, well, since our president is a reality TV show star, let's make our justice system a reality show as well. So if you are a criminal, you get sent to an island called Alcatraz 2.0. You are hunted to the death there and it is being streamed on an app. We wake up with the protagonist of the story and she's like, I don't belong on this island and I was wrongfully sent here and now I have to fight for my life. It is less Hunger Games and more Black Mirror to me. This doesn't really have any weight to the story, so I wouldn't consider it a spoiler, but there's one character who likes to, shall we say, manhandle women, and he's like, hey baby, you want some blah 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 action, yeah, and she's like, no, step off. And then another character comes up and goes, oh, I see you've met Rodrigo. I love it! So I went on Twitter and I tweeted the author. I was like, that not be a coincidence. There has to be some meaning about that name choice and the certain personality traits he has. We're talking about presidencies and people who shouldn't be president. Tell me that was on purpose. She kind of hinted at it. She was like, well, the name did cross. It was on my radar. And I was like, I will take it. Headcanon confirmed that Rodrigo is named after another trashy Rodrigo, and I will leave it at that. This book is best read in a day or over the course of 3 days. I felt like I let it down somewhat by reading it over the course of a week because the events in the book take place over the course of him having only 3 days. So for me, the steam ran out a little bit because it's been with me for over a week and we're still on the same day. Like, so I would recommend reading this in real time. If you're a fan of Black Mirror, and I know a lot of you are because my Twitter and Facebook feeds have been blowing up with all of you guys watching Bandersnatch, this is an excellent book for you to check out, and it's really thin. And I'm not gonna talk about the ending. I will talk about that in a future video. The last book I read for the month of December is one you may already be familiar with if you've watched my top books of 2018 video, and it is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Yang. I would like to apologize first of all for my video because I mispronounced her name and my friend sent me a video on how she pronounced it. I listened to it over and over again and I hope I pronounced it a little closer to how it actually should be pronounced now. This is a high fantasy. This is the first in a series. It's set in a fantasy world that is based on Eastern culture, specifically Malaysian culture. It is a breath of fresh air for me because sometimes, you know, unfortunately the fantasy market in YA is mostly predominantly Western based, so to read one that is based somehow similarly to my culture, I enjoy it immensely. In this world there are 3 types of classes, and you've got the paper class, which are humans, and you've got moon classes, which are more demon than human. And the Steel class, they're more human but still have demon qualities to them. There is a demon king who rules over everybody. Every year he selects 8 human girls to be his concubines. And one girl is chosen for the way her eyes look. She didn't enter willingly into the competition. And so we follow her journey as she goes from her little town all the way to the capital of the kingdom and how she adjusts the life there. And I think it's a great jumping off book because I would say this book suffers from the ACOTAR syndrome, wherein there's great world building in the first novel, but we're only allowed a peek into it. But you know there's an amazing world outside, and you're just like, but I want to know about outside. Why are you limiting me to the palace? Why are you limiting me to the manor? And that being said, it just makes me more excited for what the second book will bring and if we'll get to explore the kingdom at all. Again, one of the things I loved about this book was just like, I didn't realize how cool it would be to have characters who looked like me, to see names in the books that are the names of my friends in real life, and not names that have been westernized, mind you, but names that are very Asian in nature. So that was a really cool thing I loved about reading this book, and that is the last book I read for December. Okay, now we're moving on to my favorites. The first favorite I have for this month is this sweatshirt, and it is the comfiest thing I have ever worn. So I found this randomly at the Changi here. What's the English of Changi? Like a bazaar? I would go with bazaar. Maybe. I saw it and I was like, oh, that looks cute. I've pretty much grown out of, like, size-wise, most of my fandom shirts because I haven't bought one since I was in high school. When I fit it, it was the comfiest thing I've ever worn. It has fake fleece inside that normally I hate and I'm really uncomfy with, but it's just soft as a baby's butt. The next favorite I have are these Toms, and they're Disney Toms. And they look like they're meant for someone 15 years younger than me. But it's so cute! I know a lot of people are like with their Yeezys and Jordans and flinging flanging air stuff. I don't know. I'm not a shoe person. Like, where do you go shopping? My mom's closet. Toms are my one exception because they're so comfy. And about 6 months ago, I found out that they were gonna be having a Disney collaboration. I was in the States when this happened, so I went to downtown Disney and I was like, give me your Cinderella shoes. They were like, sure, JK, we don't have your size. And I'm like, aww. And then I went home and I forgot all about it. I'm walking through the mall here and I was like, oh, Tom's store. And then I went, they have the Disney collection. I'm like, what? I love them so much. I'm super happy. Like, I'm a kid in a candy store. Like, I walked out and I was like, my new shoes. Look at my new Disney shoes, guys. I hate it because it has been raining nonstop here and I will be damned if I wear my brand new white shoes in the muddy, muddy rain. The next favorite I have is a gift technically, but it's not breaking my own rule because it's not my gift. So every year my dad for work gets like a lot of food baskets. So I sometimes filch a couple of things, and this was one of the things I stole. It's what I call like a grandma candy. You know the tins? You know like the frosted candies that all grandmas have in their bag? There isn't even a brand name. It's just Woogie Fine Drops. I'm gonna shortly segue. I am mentioning that I love these apple drops in the hope that somebody will give me a butt ton of apple drops, because you know what happened? The last 2 favorites I have, I mentioned that I really loved We Bare Bears stuff. For Christmas, 5 different people gave me We Bare Bears merch. Is this to be my legacy with my booktube? Like, it's not about books. No, they will know me as the We Bare Bears girl. Oh no. So that's my way of saying, if you guys want to drop off some grandma candies at my door, it wouldn't go unappreciated. My 2019 resolution, I would like to be less awkward with talking about makeup on this channel, despite this not being a beauty channel, because you know what? Guess what? You can read books and wear makeup at the same time, and you don't gotta be awkward about one thing or the other. I say this with every ounce of sincerity in my heart as of the moment, that I will probably never buy another lipstick again because I found it. I've peaked. This has appeared on one of my videos before in another color, and I found the colors that I would like to live in forever. And they're more shades of the NARS Power Matte Lip Pigment. Yes, I got the name right! My parents went to Japan for a business trip and my mom accompanied my dad, and my mom was like, oh, I'm not doing anything, I'm just gonna go around. Do you want me to get you anything? And I was like, is there a NARS there? You know, because it's cheaper in Japan than it is here in the Philippines. The names come in Japanese characters, so I do not know what shades these are in. This one I know is called American Woman, and it's shade 2772. And this one is 2786. Compared to other liquid lipsticks, they're definitely easy to apply, and they stay on like a mother. I've had friends who are like, have you touched up the entire day? And I was like, No, I haven't. The last favorite I have is a surprise because I was bored one day and I was watching Bird Box because nobody had bothered to invite me out on a Saturday. And I was like, oh, I think I'll paint my nails. So I had recently gotten this from Mumuso. It's one of those like Daiso type stores where you can get anything and everything. And I really like this shade and it's 99 pesos. That'd be slightly under $2. They're this color. For 99 pesos, you get what you pay for. And I feel like I can talk really confidently about nail polish. Like makeup, I'm a little like, that's not my forte. But nail polish, I will kick you if you say I don't know my stuff. This one's a little trickier to apply. It's not as easy to apply as higher end nail polish brands, but the end product is pretty good, I'd say. I really like the color. I think I will wear it for my brother's wedding next month, and that is it. That is the last of this month's favorites. It felt like a long month, didn't it? Building up to Christmas, it felt really fast. In hindsight, I was like, whoa, all of that happened this month? That's a lot. And that about does it for my December wrap-up and favorites. You can follow me on my other bookish adventures on Twitter at Cuckoo for Books and at Instagram at Cuckoo for Books and at Salva Villarosa. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon, and happy 2019. Bye guys.